and welcome to Hixxy Studio. In this video I am going to show you how to make this card for a man using a few things from the Amy Designs classic men's collection. Now I've used a 3D push out. You can see I've already used up two. One is this one that I've already put onto this card. So this one, sorry. This one here is the middle one, which I have prepared ready for the demo. And then I'm just in case you've never seen the 3D push outs before, I will show you how to put them together using that one. So this is one of 4 push outs from the gentleman's the men's collection. And this one is SB10634 and it's called Barber because it's obviously barber shop. I am also using this die from the same collection, the Gentleman's Accessories die, and to create this little sort of to focus your eye sort of into that image. This is one of 3 different frames that come in the collection, and there are a few other dies, so have a look on our channel because I've got a few videos using this collection, using the different dies and the different push outs, so make sure you have a look at those. So let's start with the push out and then I will go from there. Okay, I'm going to put things to the side so that I do not lose them. Right, so the push outs come on what I would say was like a decoupage weight paper. It is paper, it isn't card, so do be careful. They are all pre-die cut, that's why they're called push outs, but they won't just fall out. You can take them out with your fingers if you want. I prefer to use the back of a mouse mat and a large ball tool. The ball tools are Crafter's Companions, come in a set of 3. They're for the flower forming, but they're perfect for this. Each sheet each sheet has 3 images on them, and they are all numbered, and each set is color coded with the numbers. So you can see these ones are blue, these ones are kind of a browny color, those are red, and those are more of a purpley pinky color. So it helps you to understand which bits go with which, but also the order. But if you get them all out and you're unsure, then you're looking for decreasing size of the image. So I am literally running the large ball tool over the back and then it pops out like that. Now if you don't like the little pips, because sometimes you know they've got to have little areas where they're held into the paper, if you don't like those, then you know you can just go around and just snip them off. Just be careful you don't snip into the image. Okay, so that's the first bit. This will be, excuse the rattling, when I start moving the desk, everything decides it wants to move too. Okay, now with these more finer bits, just be a little bit careful not to force them out. If they don't come out, just go over them again, and if they still don't, then use a pair of scissors. Now I have got a couple of little bits you can see here, and I'm going to use my fingers just to tease those out. I have a little pip there which I will try to get rid of. There, and then there's another little bit there. Okay, so that's those 2 little bits out. So that's our second layer, and then this will be layer number 3. Again, this has got some little bits inside and some inner pieces, so just be a little bit careful. I'm just going to give it another quick roll over just to loosen those and then take them out by hand. That's one, and then the other one's out there, and I've got a little bit of a pip there, so I'm going to put the scissors up and in that one. So that's the third one, and then the last one is the little bow tie that's come out nice and easy, she says. Just holding on by that little one. Okay, so that's all our pieces out for our decoupage, and it's case then of assembling it, and there are, you know, it's personal preference. If you prefer to have it done quickly, ready to use, you can use foam pads. I quite like using 3D glue gel because it allows me to get into bits and pieces. The drawback with that is it's not immediately dry, so you know, it swings and roundabouts. It's a case of what you would prefer yourself. So put a little bit there, just a little bit on there. Okay, so we're just going to place this over, and I've shaped it a little bit with my use the back of my head on the overhead cam, just to give it a little bit of shape, sort of dimension. And you can do that with your fingers. You don't need to do anything else. And by having used the ball tool to remove them, they've already got a little bit of that dimension anyway, so it's not too much of addition. So that's the third layer, and then the final layer is the little bow tie. Okay, there we go. Put on each side of the bow tie. Get it up the right way. There we go. Right. So that's how we put them together. Now sometimes they come with these little back plates like this. Sometimes they don't. Just purely depends on the image. But I'm going to put that one to one side because I already have. Whoop, that's the lid. Pick that up. Because I already have the other one from the sheet ready to go. It's all ready and dry. Okay, so this is the one that we're going to be using. They've all got the Barber's pole on, and I quite liked that as a colour theme, because although I could have used the browns and the blacks and the creams of the rest of it, I just thought I'd like a little bit of a pop of colour with this one and do something different. And I also wanted to try to give, as you can see up here, sort of the idea of the stripes from the Barber's pole. So I'll show you how I did that. So I have a base card, which basically is 6 inches by not quite 6 inches. It's where if you cut your A4 piece sort of 6 inches wide, and then you have the length of A4, and then you need to score it at 5 7/8. So that gives you your base card. And I've just got some, this is just out of my stash, some dark blue paper. I'm just going to grab some glue. And I went for a pattern rather than just a plain colour, because I wanted to add a little bit more interest. But, you know, could be whatever sort of you want to do, really. But, yeah, so this for me is the dark blue. So that's my first layer, and I've given it a little bit of a border, again, so that I can really see the differences in the colours. And then I've got this white piece, which is a lot smaller, so you can see the blue. So we'll put that on as well. You can see I decided to go bigger than my original measurements. But there we go. So we're going to put that on in the middle. Okay. Now, I think, what did I measure? Yeah, that was a 5-inch square, I think, that one. So in order to create the other bits up here, these kind of like stripy bits here, I've got a, what have I got here? 4.5, not quite by 4.5, roughly 4.5 inch square. And I did the same with the red. And what I've done is I've literally just drawn down. So I've got 2 triangles. There is no, you know, rhyme or reason, no particular measurements. It's just, excuse me, look at my finger there, just trying to move that paper. There's no major rhyme or reason. It was just, right, I want to create a couple of triangles. So I'm going to put that one down, and I'm going to cut that one down. Okay. Now, I then used it to place my 2 triangles. So I wanted it slightly in from the corner. This one's not being stuck down. This is just my guide. Okay, and that's my bottom one there, and that's my top one there. So I'm gonna just leave that one on as my guide, and then I'm going to just put that one up and stick it down like so. Okay, and again, I didn't want it right the way up. I wanted to create a little bit of difference, so I needed to leave that on to get the positioning of this one. Okay, and there's that one. I think my guillotine is, I don't get a very clean cut off that. My, oh, it doesn't show too much. That's okay. Right, now with the red one, I cut the triangle. I cut the square in half to create a triangle, and then again I've just drawn a line. So this is going to kind of fit in there. So we're going to cut that. Trying to get the neater edge on this one. I might have some glue or something on my blade. Don't run your finger like I just did. Should have done that. Right, so I'm going to go down there. And then this is going to sit like so in the middle. Okay, and it just gives you that kind of illusion of the stripes of the barber pole. Like so. Okay, right, so that's our background done. So we can just get rid of those. So we'll put that to one side, and then we're going to cut out the frame. Okay. So I've got some of the red card, the same red card that I've made the base from. Just bear with me, I just want to get that blue going down. And we'll put a little bit of tape on here, and then I'm going to run this through the machine on our low pressure, see how we do. And then I am hopefully that will cut. I say hopefully, I don't know, because I've not put a huge amount of pressure in there. But then what I would want to do is to emboss it, run it through with the embossing mat, because there's some lovely detail. You see the face on the clock, the bands on the hat and on the suitcases. So it is worth running it through. So it hasn't quite cut there, so I am going to turn it around. We'll run it through that way. Sometimes running it through twice on a lower pressure is a lot better than running it through once on too high a pressure, which will then not help with the warping of the plates. Look, let's see. Yep, so the cut's looking fine on that now. So what I want to do now is I'm going to put in the embossing mat. So I've got my sandwich upside down at the moment, which is why why you think why am I putting on there, because that's the way my sandwich should be. It's just I flipped it over so that I could check whether the die had cut or not. So sorry if that confused anyone with the sandwich there. So this hopefully will give a really lovely emboss now. You can see all the great bits of the image. Yes, okay. So I can already see, I can see the outline of the frame inside, the bands on the case, the clock face. So excellent, that's what we want. Right, so now one thing I did forget to do is to take the tape off before I emboss. If I had a coated card, I run the risk of taking the top of that off. I mean, not that it would make too much difference because it's outside the frame, the bit that I don't want. So this bit does not come out. This bit stays in. So oh, and it's just going to pop out, and there's not too much left in the die. Now, what I do want to not lose are my little moustaches. Oh, I already lost one. One's come out there. Should be two little ones. Is it still in? Oh no, there it is. I want two little ones that I want, but we'll keep all of them up there for now. I just use them as a little bit of additional embellishment. So those came out of this die. They're waste from this die. So let's get my I don't need my brush. I need my paper tool because just to get these little bits out, the cog there and the bow tie there. A little bit caught. Has it got caught? There we go. Right, put on the cog there and a couple of little bits there. I think that's it. But you can see the lovely embossing. So if you I used it, my image is a lot bigger. Well, I say it's not a lot, but it could have sat in there, but I've used it slightly different. But you could use just a small little, I mean, you could use a picture if you're sending it, maybe, I don't know, to your dad or, you know, brother or whoever, a little picture of them. I mean, it could be an ideal one for Father's Day, to stick a little photo in. Okay, so I then put this at an angle here. So I'm going to put some glue on this in a moment. And then I've got three little rectangles of the same colour papers just to add here, because I wanted to, but I felt this was what I was doing all just too much red. So I wanted a little bit so that I could put the image in. So let's get a piece of paper and let's get the glue. So I'm going to take my larger nozzle glue to start with and do the bigger bits. Life's too short to try and cover that with with the fine nozzle. So we'll put that back in, and then we'll get a fine nozzle in to do all our little. Okay, this takes me a little squeeze to get this going. There we go. We're going to go around the cogs. You don't necessarily need to do all of it because there's stuff going on the top which is also going to help to hold it down. So I'm not doing the really tiny little thin pieces. I'm sort of going for where there's a little bit more space to put the glue on. There looks like I've got a little centre of a cog left there. Just the larger bits, like so. There we go, it did get back in. I'm just going to grab my pokey tool. Yeah, that little centre of the cog. Now it's got caught in the glue. There we go. Right, so this is going to go on towards the bottom and at an angle like sort of like so, I think. Yeah, that would do. Get my graphing piece of paper and just run my fingers over it to get that all glued down. And then we are going to put on our little pieces here. My little one's playing out. Let's see if I can get any glue out of this one. There we go, let's use this one. Go in there, and then the white. Like so, and then the red. Okay, so this was more because I just wanted to break up the sort of large flat area of that the background, but we can still see all the detail of it out and around. And then this is going to go there. some glue on the back of that one. Like so. And then I have, oh, we've got our two little moustaches. One to go down here. More glue. We'll put this little guy up there. And this little guy down there. Like so. And then I have just a sentiment to go on, and I've just stamped that and edged it with the same ink. I haven't sort of layered it up because I just felt that would make it too big, and then that's just going to sit up there. And that sentiment is Julie Hickey Designs Everyday Sentiment stamp set. That one's from probably the one I use the most. Okay, so there we have our little barbershop, our barbershop card. Put the lids on all my glues, otherwise I'll end up putting arms in them. So two slightly different versions because I've obviously used two different images from the 3D push out, the SB10624, which is the Barber one from the collection, and then I've used the Gentleman's Accessories die. It's like a frame from the Amy Design Classic Men's Collection. Sorry. Like I said, this one I think would be really, really lovely for Father's Day cards. To put a little photo in there, or you could just put your little greeting in there. Okay, there are several other videos on our channel with using this collection, different push outs, different dies. So if you're always a bit stuck for men's card, then have a look at them and check them out and see which ones appeal to you. Thank you for joining me.